These days, it seems like most people are only focused on the here and now, but it's important to take a look back at where we've come from. And one place in particular that is really great to do that is the Polk History Center. So with us today, we have Myrtice Young. She is the Historic Preservation Manager over at the Polk County History Center. Myrtice, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So you're here today to talk to us about Viva Florida 500. What is that?
Viva Florida 500 is a statewide event that is a commemoration or celebration and a recognition of the 500th anniversary of Ponce de Leon's voyage of discovery on the east coast of Florida that occurred in 1513, at which time he named La Florida, the state.
Wow. Okay. So it's a statewide program, but what are we doing here locally in Polk County?
Thank you for asking that. Locally at the Polk County History Center, we have two very important exhibits to commemorate the occasion. And the first of those exhibits is entitled Spanish Pathways. Spanish Pathways is an exhibit that gives us an opportunity to introduce our visitors to the rich and broad, significant influence of the Spanish heritage in the state of Florida. And that exhibit gives us that opportunity to have the visitor, the viewer, experience the Spanish heritage, but more importantly, it gives us an opportunity not so much to talk about the discovery of Florida, but the interaction between the people and the cultures that occurred over the last 500 years, and as I mentioned, that very significant heritage influence.
That sounds great. So tell me about the second exhibit you have going on.
The second exhibit is equally as exciting. It is a very important exhibit that features 500 years of agriculture in the state of Florida and the influence and the impact agriculture has had on the economy and the development of the state. It's a traveling exhibit that is sponsored by the Fresh from Florida division of the Commissioner of Agriculture's office. It's an educational exhibit, interactive exhibit that features information about citrus, cattle and timber, aquaculture, just various stages, fruits and vegetables, and the very important role of bees in agriculture in the state. That exhibit opened at the museum on May 31st with a very interesting visit from Jacob Summerlin and continues through mid-August. And we encourage all people interested in history, young and mature alike, to come and take a look at that exhibit. It's very interesting and informative.
Okay. So those are just two exhibits, but I bet that's not the only thing that you're doing to celebrate this grand mile marker in the state's history. So are you incorporating it into the theme into other programs?
We are. We actually have been doing that all year. Most of our Lunch and Learn programs have had some emphasis on Florida's history or interesting aspects of our history over the last 500 years. And June, the Lunch and Learn coming up on June 18th features an author and a writer an author and a lecturer from the Tampa Bay area, and his name is Dr. Hughes, and he has published a book on the history, interestingly enough, of the Columbia restaurant. And what he does in his lectures and in his research, he tries to find, with his Viva Florida investigation, what was true Florida cuisine, which is a very interesting thing to discover. So on June 18th, he'll come and talk with us about that, to discover Florida's cuisine.
Okay, is he bringing lunch for us? Because
I'd love to say yes. Maybe what we can do is, we have just an international row of restaurants across the street from the History Center, so we can just try each of those.
There you go, great idea. So talk to me a little bit about the actual whole Lunch and Learn series.
The Lunch and Learn series was an idea that we discussed. We started it, we launched it last year, and the idea was to provide an opportunity for people who are in Bartow during the lunch hour to come into the History Center and learn some things about Polk County history or Florida history. The series it's every third Wednesday. That is not correct. It's every third Tuesday of the month. We start about 12:15, give people enough time to grab a bite to eat and come on in and have lunch and listen to different lecturers. about just all kinds of different subjects.
What's the cost for the Lunch and Learn program? Is there any cost at all?
You know, we're so fortunate that the History Center is open to the public. The citizens of Polk County are fortunate to have a History Center that they can visit at no cost. So the Lunch and Learn is just pick up a sandwich and come on in.
Okay, so that applies then to all the exhibits.
All
and
the
everything
exhibits,
that's going on
indeed.
That's
indeed.
great.
Yes.
And then just parking on the street. Okay.
Parking on the street.
And
there's
for those of us, for people who are watching who might not be familiar with where the History Center is or something like that, tell us tell us where it is, how to find it, what are the hours?
Okay. Well, the Polk County History Center is the historic courthouse. It's located at 100 East Main Street. Easy to find when you get to downtown Bartow.
The big silver dome.
Look for the big silver dome. The parking is, like you said, very accessible around the building and around the streets of Bartow. The hours for visitors for the History Center were open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 5 p.m.
In addition to the exhibits that you have all year round in the Lunch and Learn series, what else is going on in the museum?
Very important thing for citizens to know is that beautiful venue is available for rental for special occasions, for special meetings, for different events, whether you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, or a wedding. There are 2 beautifully restored courtrooms that are available for those occasions. So it's a facility that's, an option is renting the facility for a special occasion.
Myrtice, you mentioned earlier that there's no cost for admission or anything like that, thanks to the county. Well, I'm guessing you need help operating the facilities on a day-to-day basis. So do you guys have volunteers? Are you looking for more volunteers?
Great question. And yes, we have some wonderful volunteers that help with different areas in the museum, and we're always looking for more volunteers. Some specific areas, one that's really fun, we have one volunteer whose purpose is to keep the legs sewn on the stuffed animals in the children's exhibit because they get a lot of action. So she's kind enough to be our seamstress for the animals. But in addition to that, we have volunteers who come in and help with the cataloging. They are actually taught the process that we use in our cataloging system, and they help us scan these items. We've collected artifacts from over 500 families in Polk County, so it's very important that those items are kept in inventory. So we have people who help us with that. We also have people who come in as docents, and they help with tours. We're very fortunate to have a lot of interest in tours, whether it's school-age children or retirement communities or just different organizations, antique clubs, different groups come in. So it's always nice to have docents to help us with that. The end of the year, maybe we can talk about this at a future program, we have a very wonderful exhibit. We are going to be the host site for a Smithsonian exhibit, which is entitled Journey Stories, and we see that exhibit as wrapping up the Viva Florida year. It's the exhibit about the push and pull of bringing people to America and what pushed them across the country or west or south. And for that exhibit, we need a huge staff of docents to provide tours. So thank you for getting that message out for us, that we love to have people come down and volunteer.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. So Myrtice, tell me one more time the details about the 2 exhibits that you have right now going on for the Viva Florida 500.
Spanish Pathways is open now. It's on the first floor in one of our changing galleries. It's available for the visitors to view through mid-August, and that is the story of the influence or the impressions of the Spanish in the state of Florida during these 500 years. And then the other exhibit is Florida Agriculture, Then and Now, 500 Years of the Influence of Agriculture in the State of Florida. Again, it's open and will be open and available for viewing till mid-August.
Okay. All right. Well, Myrtice, thanks for coming on and sharing about some of our history.
Our history, yes, is so important.
Okay. Well, you heard her. History is so important, and not just here in Polk County, but to learn about the history of the whole state. It's our 500th birthday for the state, and there's 2 great exhibits going on right now at the Polk History Center. The first one is Spanish Pathways, and that's open now through mid-August. And then we've also got Florida Agriculture, 500 Years in the Making. This is a traveling exhibit, and it's also open through about mid-August. The History Center is located at 100 East Main Street in Bartow. The hours are Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. It's absolutely free to enter the museum to see any of these exhibits. Don't forget to mark your calendars for the next Lunch and Learn lecture. It happens on the third Tuesday of every month at about noon. So it gives you enough time to grab a lunch and head on into the History Center. Again, that's free. For more information on any of the programs, exhibits, or becoming a volunteer or renting out any of these facilities, you can give them a call at 863-534-4386 or log on to polkhistorycenter.org.